Hello everyone. It is time for America's Tier 1. My name is Stryfium, and joining me from the land down under, welcome Seb. Welcome back. It is time for round 5 of this Tier 1 division. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, Striff?
I'd say I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm ready for some racing here. 18 minutes of quali is just about to come through for us, and well, 11 turns that you and I know very, very well. Of course, we have the Curve Alboreto, newly named for turn 11 now, that Parabolica. But man, oh man, have we seen some races through here. We had a very good race in the Tier 3 division earlier today, and we're going to have some more great racing here tonight, without a doubt. Take a look at the calendar. We are here in round 5. Next week we will be off with a break week, giving these racers a really good opportunity to take some rest. And well, while some drivers rest, some may take the opportunity to practice for the 6th round of contention in Suzuka. It will be the Japanese Grand Prix. Following that, Silverstone in Britain. We have Azerbaijan for round 8, Hungary for round 9, Singapore for round 10. Then we'll take another break, move through into a very fast-paced section of races. We have France, Spain, Austria, Mexico, and then Brazil. It's a very action-packed calendar coming ahead still yet, so don't go anywhere. Now we have to take a look at the standings really quick here. You can see we have, of course, the Mr. Becky B, 68 points at the top of the tower. You can see his teammate Phoenix Momateo right next to him in 11th with 10 points. Williams second on the Constructors' Championship. They are second to Mercedes right now. You can see Rhapsody and Lucas Yan doing some very good work there in the 2nd and 6th slots on the championship. And TJ Spin with 51 points right now in 3rd. And of course, that is the entirety of the haul of points for Aston Martin right now. Zamis not off to the start of this season that he wants, and I do believe he may just be absent tonight as well. Not entirely sure, but we're going to get a good look at who is in the grid in just a few moments when we do get into qualifying. That said, I will say one thing. We have McLaren, no points yet in this season in this grid. So that is going to be something they want to rectify, especially after we saw a 1-2 for McLaren this past Sunday in Real Formula One Racing Steb.
Yeah, that's interesting considering they both had the pace, but they just kind of bottle it up at the end of the day, Striff. They always get an instance and they are spinning a bit too much than you'd like to see, and they find themselves 15 and 16 in the championship. That's Rez and Siffy. So, yeah, they got a bit of work to do, but Italy's a track that it's pretty straightforward. It's not the hardest track on the calendar. It's certainly great for overtaking, and if you do make a mistake, you can find yourself back up the field, but it just depends how big that DRS train is, Striff, because that DRS train is going to play a big role in how this race will pan out, if it is indeed dry, that is.
Yeah, I think the weather dynamic here is something that this Tier 1 division hasn't necessarily had thrown at them yet in a capacity that we've seen like Tier 2 in the Americas. But while Italy, we haven't seen any weather here in the 3 races that we've had so far. I'd like to see rain. The drivers most definitely won't, and especially if they're going to be carrying through on wet tires in that Ascari chicane.
Yeah, well, that Ascari chicane, very famous. Turn 9 and 10 can really catch you off guard, can't, but those big curbs catch them the wrong way and they will send your car around in any different way possible. But not what I want, Strip, a bit of dry to wet race. That'd be very interesting. See how strategy would pan out. Get a bit of a DRS train, get a bit of DRS battling, some good rundowns from turn 1 to turn 2, through Curva Grande down to the Della Roggia chicane. And we could see some good battling, but you know, maybe a mix up with the weather, as you mentioned, could really add a different element to this race.
Yeah, most definitely. 11 turns here in Italy, and it will be 11 very different turns should the wet come into effect. But everyone will be holding things, fingers crossed, that there isn't any rain to come down. I think we may just be waiting on 1 or 2 drivers at the moment to get things sorted, and then we'll be on our way into qualifying here for 18 minutes, and then 27 laps is the distance of the race. We've seen some great races. We had Tier 4 yesterday, as well as the America's Tier 2 division last night. That was Mick out with me on the call for that. And then now we had Tier 3 today, And of course, you're here joining myself, Striffium, and Mr. Seb for the America's Tier 1 action. Tomorrow we'll have Tier 2. Thursday we'll have Tier 1. And then we'll be on a little bit of a break until we come back to the Endurance Series, as well as, we're going to be going on a break. And then at the end of that break week, we'll be going into Russia for real Formula 1. So, and after that, we'll be into Suzuka for round 6 of the MRL campaign. It'll be a great time.
Yeah. Interesting to see how that break week kind of sets out the grids for each tier, because it's always interesting what you do in that break week. It's, do you stick with the game if, you want to improve and find that time, or, do you take a break if you had a fairly stressful season, just find that time to just find the fun in the game, because, playing this game a lot, it can take away that fun, and you just want to take a break and enjoy yourself a bit. But I tend to always want to get that extra practice in, because that little bit of extra information can always help, but you can always regain that in that, week in that you do that practice normally. So it's normally not that big of a deal, but a little bit of practice to find a little bit of tenths or just a hundredths of a second can be crucial as the season goes on.
Well, we do have everybody loading in and readying up now as we come through into 18 minutes of qualifying around the Monza circuit. And, well, what a circuit it is. The Temple of Speed. I don't know if anyone's prepared for what we're about to witness here in this race. That is for sure.
Well, Temple of Speed, it is the fastest circuit on the calendar. 5.7 kilometers, or 5.8 I really should say, but these high speeds make it a relatively short race considering how long of a track it is. So 27 laps, around a minute 22 in the race. Get around a 40-minute race, barring no safety cars. So should be a good one. Should be a fast one as well, and very fun to watch.
Yeah, these races around Monza are always quite quick and enjoyable. We haven't seen too many safety cars play too many roles in the races so far, knock wood. But now we are going to be jumping into session, and let's take a look at how things are for us here in the weather. Clear skies as the eye can tell so far in the quali. Sigh of relief, I imagine, there.
Yeah, good. Just a note, Gabox G in the AlphaTauri is replacing Fytron as announced as of Sunday. So congratulations to Gabox and good luck to him.
According to Maxim, we're being told that we have rain coming. Apparently it's going to be a wet race for the America's Tier 1 division, and that could very well shake things up, to say the least. We have a couple of drivers now heading out of the garage here. I think that was a McLaren on the way out. Mr. Johnny Disco filling in there on loan from Tier 2. And Johnny Disco took a podium yesterday. Drivers on the grid. One driver that we can say is absent this evening is Mr. Zamis. He's being replaced by, I do believe, Duffeld over there at the Aston Martin camp. We have Maxim B on the grid, Casquito Benitez, Johnny Moosen. We have Joss Sales, Mr. TJ Spin in the other Aston Martin, Mr. Becky B, the currently reigning Tier 1 champion of the division. And he is leading the standings as well. Or is he second there? I can't remember at the moment. I think he's still leading.
He is leading?
Yes,
he's
I'm
leading.
not losing
9 points over Lucas, yeah, you aren't.
It's tight. It's tight. It can go either way.
This is what 1 week of me not being here does to you.
I need my fact checker. That's what we need. And we have Mr. Yama in the Haas, Jacob there in the Alfa Romeo, and it's Sidewinder in the Red Bull. Yeah, over at Ferrari, again mentioning Duffeld there in reserve capacity for Zamis this evening. We have Cotters over at Alfa Romeo, Johnny Disco, as we watch him start a lap in the McLaren heading down into turn 1. Rhapsody, Gabux, Phoenix Bomateo, Karma Lesson, Siffy, and Lucas Yan rounding out the 20 racers with us this evening.
Good grid so far. Pretty much the same as it was from the start. As we see, just go. Get over those inside curve of turn 1 and just avoiding that sausage curve of turn 2, which Max and Lewis didn't necessarily avoid on Sunday, but we won't talk about too much because we have this America's Tier 1 race to watch. Do the De La Roger chicanes. Take the curve on the inside a lot and avoid that sausage curve on that inside of turn 5 because it really hurts your run to the Lesmo 1, Lesmo 2. Stay very aggressive through the corner, relying on each curb. You normally do. DRS open on the run down to the Alberto Ascari chicanes. We need stars here for this one. After his amazing facts last season. Take that.
He's a big man.
Oh, there we go. So that's the curve I'm talking about. They can fling you any way possible. That inside curve for turn 9 gets on it a bit too much. Doesn't release off it soon enough. He created a bit too much speed through it, and as you see, to the car around. Then lucky enough, not damaging any of it. So anything damaged here would probably be his pride at the moment.
Next flyer will be Jacob. He's on the medium compound tires, and as he mentioned, Stars, of course, one of the other Aussie commentators that appears here and there. Quite the stats man when it comes to these circuits, and the Alberto Ascari chicane, as Seb mentioned, is his hot spot for throwing out great info.
I just remember this weekend he was on fire with his stats.
Doesn't like a good old Italian Grand Prix here in the Temple of Speed. Jacob on the mediums. 21.782 the first time of the evening. Let's see who comes next. Is it Sales? It is Sales. I tried to get him before he crossed, but he crossed too quick with a 20.203 on the softs.
A good time. We're expecting 19s though. Maybe we could get very high 18s. I'm not sure we will. Rhapsody crossed the line a 20.0. And yeah, motocross to get a 20.4. Those times are coming down. See, Josh jumps his teammate in the Haas. But this is a beautiful track, Striff. It really is. Say what you want about it, but I personally love it. It's a classic track, as you know, names to it as well. A lot of history.
Yeah, I love the circuits with history personally. I think this track, so much history. Johnny now in the Alpha Tauri. We speak of history, of course, Gasly with his win here, the Alpha Tauri in 2020, and now 20.539. Gabux, very fast as well, going 5th quickest.
Well, Siffy has retired at Lesmo 1. It's one of those spots you can retire the car. It's not as hard to retire the spin there as a Ascari is, but that outside curb can catch you off guard if you, hold on to that throttle a bit too much. Becky B, about across the line. He's into the 19s, the first driver. He's setting himself apart. Keep in mind, TJ Spin and Lucas Yan, next two in line, yet to set laps yet. So, championship leader, as we have to wait and see how his championship rivals fare up against him.
Well, Lucas Yan pushing out of the Curve Alboreto now through to the checkered, well, not the checkered, but the checkered line, we'll call it. 19.875 Seb. He's just on the rear of Becky. They're the only two drivers in the session thus far to get themselves into that sub 120 range. Karma Lesson. Every time I want to jump to them, they move on me into a good position. There he goes, 4th, and it's a 20.144, just shy of Rhapsody there. 600ths.
Just looking at TJ Spin, he's only just come out as well. We have yellow flag sector 3, I believe that's a car getting out the way, but we have Johnny Mousson who retired at Lesbo 1. I don't know what happened to Duffeld, who is reserving for your good friend Zamis. Waffle even confirmed it for me. Thank you, Waffle. 11 minutes left of the session, and just on board with Maxime right now.
Coming into Ascari, braking just ahead of the 50 meter and trying to carry as much speed. He's down through into 5th gear there, but he's all the way up into 8th just as he hits the exit. Now he's coming through into Parabolica, Curve Alboreto, newly named. And here it goes, the Red Bull. P7, 22.28 for him for his first run onto the tower. Skidoo Benitez in the Alpine invalidated his run. He's currently moving through Ascari. TJ Spin on the move. The Aston Martin, very quick. He's taken a couple of podiums this season already. And, well, let's take a look and see what he can do coming through Curva Grande.
Into the De La Roche chicane. As you see, we'll see all these drivers take a lot of inside curve, getting a bit out of shape. Might have clipped that inside sausage curve drift. That might have been why we see him get a bit out of shape. So Lesmo 1, he's a bit careful through that. Lesmo 2, I don't think he was really pushing limits, but trying to just get a time in. It is midway through the session. We've just crossed over to 9 minutes, around 40 seconds left. As we see those yellow flags pop up for cars getting out the way of each other. Through Ascari, very confident. Doesn't rely on those big curves as you normally should. As we've seen already, they tend to spit you out. Now run down to Parabolica. I'm never going to call it what it is named now, Striff. It's ingrained in my mind that this is the Parabolica. Runs it through. He's been fairly cautious, Striff, and I was thinking he just wants that banker time. Never mind. What am I talking about? Cautious. It didn't look like he's on the limit at all. Looked like he was
Sounds
very
like,
relaxed.
yeah, it's okay. Just pull.
I think these drivers should be relatively scared, Striff, because I don't think he was anywhere near the limit. He took that very, very casually. The Ascari was very fast. But just looking at, the De La Roche chicane, had a bit of a mistake there. Lesmo didn't use all the track limits available to him. Even the Parabolica, he didn't really get that wide over that AstroTurf to, carry all that speed through and that momentum to the start-finish line, and he still does a 19.4. So, wow. TJ Spin.
Jacob pushing right now. We have, of course, a variety of drivers beginning laps, and as I mentioned, Jacob, he says hello back to me with an invalidation through the Ascari chicane. Very unfortunate to see that. My mistake. I didn't realize he didn't want to be disturbed, Mr. Alfa Romeo. Next up on a flyer that we can see was Mr. Seajaws. Pushing through Ascari, setting that Sector 2 purple. His teammate Yamamoto flying behind him. And then I do believe that will be either Carmelesson or Casquito Benitez on the outrun. See how Seajoss flies it in to finish this lap. P4, a 20.014. How does Yama go behind him into the pit lane? So potentially a tow working there. Carmelesson begins.
Yeah, you can see the cars, always when they finish like that, keep the car as tight to the right hand side as possible to reduce their run to the finish line. Carry as little distance as possible. You see Carmelesson.
Here comes Sidewinder.
Grande.
Sidewinder 303 to the line. He does improve just 0.2, and it pushes him into 13th position.
Time's pretty close. Should be getting a good race.
Yeah, they are really ramping up here as things evolve. Track evolution, of course. Carmelesson pushing out of the second Lesmo. The Lesmos, not only in this session, but through the race week of Tier 4, America's Tier 2, and of course Tier 3 earlier today, the Lesmos have presented multiple challenges for racers this week.
Well, funny thing about it is just, Lesmos aren't really the corner you think that would hurt you. Like, the Ascari chicane is, when you hop on this track and drive it for the first time, it's the one that catches you out every time. It's safe with a 19.8.4, we'll see what Karma does. But as I was saying, it tends to catch you out. Karma jumps himself just in front of Sales. Yeah, you tend to oh my god, these times are coming down, Striff.
Look at that, Lucas Yan, 19.433, just about half a tenth in front of TJ Spin, just 49 milliseconds.
But as I was saying before, these drivers rudely interrupted me. You know,
Rudely.
rudely, yes. The
Terrible.
Lesmos, they're they're very easy corners to mess up because they're very simple at first glance, and you try and take them and you push, and that's when you can start to lose the car. And if you have a little mental drop at the Lesmos like you do at Ascari, you can see yourself around just like you would it normally at Ascari. So tough corners to master, and you have to be on it all the way through a lap of Monza.
Cotter's P5 19.806 now. 6 drivers into the 19s. He happens to be the 5th quickest of them. Variety of drivers still yet to push in their final laps. We have just shy of 5 minutes remaining in the qualifying, and what a qualifying it has been. The separation in this grid already looking quite good. You look from first position all the way down to 14th. It is 1 point. Well, Johnny's there as well. Siffy's there as well. 1.1 seconds is the separation to, of course, 16th position. That is only going to get tighter as the session goes through, and we have, of course, Phoenix Bomateo, who is yet to set a run. He is now flying, and he will be flying in that Williams into the Curve Alboreto, the 11th turn here in Monza. What will he be able to do as he pushes tight to the inside now to finish out the run? DRS will only open after he crosses the line, but it will be a great run. It is going to be a 20.023, just shy of the sub 120s, and it is 8th for him with a very tight run near the end of this session. We have Jacob, who set his best time on the mediums, who will be looking for an improvement. A 21.782 is where he stood on the mediums. How does it look for him in the Alfa Romeo as he comes to the line now? Will he improve with a massive chunk? Yes. 1.5 seconds of the improvement. He shoots into 11th position, and we can just see there is not too much activity happening on track right now. We have the 2 Haas drivers on the move, Yama and CEST. Phoenix Bomateo on an in-lap, and TJ Spin is flying.
Yeah, he didn't have a great first sector. His second sector was a bit over the place. He is down to 10th, as you can see. He's going up the gain all the time through Ascari. It looks like he's backed out as well, which I think he should, because he's got 3 minutes left in the session. I think pitting and getting into another set of softs is very viable at the moment.
I think he's starting another run here. Yeah.
Well, he'd certainly be pushing it for time if he were to go out, as I think Joss. What's going on with him? Oh, nothing. Never mind that.
Oh! I think there was some contact handed between Rhapsody there and... Who was that in the Alfa Romeo? Jacob.
Yeah, I just caught that. Not sure what is going on. I don't think any of them got a penalty from it, though, so...
I'm hoping not. That was, well, he was warming up his tires, right? And so when he was warming up his tires, I guess, weaving down that straight, he went to, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not the... I didn't get the best view of it, but he is flying. And he is on for an improvement into Sector 2.
See now, let's go 1. Attack that inside curb, but don't actually touch it. It will unsell your car. DRS opens, seen a pretty good lap so far. Got time on the board. The Mercedes team do lead the constructors table on 86 points, 8 ahead of Williams. It's been a pretty good lap so far, Striff. Perhaps he's kept this pretty clean. He should be on for a good one.
20.060 is where he is looking to improve. This grid is so tight. Right to the inside now. 2.5 tenths the improvement into 6th. 19.806. He matches Cotters. Cotters retires the car. Potter's getting it just, I guess, ahead of him. Johnny Disco, 19.835. Becky B has begun.
Karma's jump. Becky says pulling that for Becky to make sure he does get some time on the board. Make sure he improves as well by at least a substantial margin, because we do have drivers behind who are gunning for him.
Of course, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the stream. My name is Stryfium here from Canada. Joining me is Seb from Australia. We are on board with Becky B, the reigning Tier 1 champion in this division, as he flies for pole. 19.433 is where pole position currently has Lucas Yan at the top step on the front row, and well, he has taken that checkered flag. Of course, share the stream, tell your friends, tell your family. MRL Racing is live, and we are just moments away from race start.
Becky B on a good lap striff. He got a really nice toe from Johnny Disco. He's out of whack, and he's over the lines. He's invalidated his lap time striff. He'll be starting no better than P4.
Yeah, and you know what? Karma Lesson has done the same thing here on his last potential run. At the very least, he's flying quick, but that track map is red. Johnny Disco pushing it into the pit lane after that run. He already pushed into 7th, and well, nobody is really going to be improving anything here.
Yeah, I see some raindrops. This is going to affect some drivers who are on late laps here. Phoenix by Mateo looking to improve as well.
Rain at the end of the qualifying, really spoiling the party, I suppose. Phoenix Bo Mateo says hello into 3rd despite the rain. Wow.
This may help Becky here. It's not bad having your teammate up there.
That's very good for Becky at the end of the day. The Williams team.
He may start a row back, a grid spot back, but it does help having a teammate there who can do some sports with TJ Spin and Lucas Yan. So Becky B, although he may not be on that front row, he does have a bit of a support from his teammates. So it turned out for a good night for the Williams team, couldn't it?
Well, I don't think it matters where you are in this grid, to be very blunt, and I'll tell you, we're looking at this gap from 1st all the way down to the 18th right now here, Seb, and we haven't really seen anything heavy come out of Casquito or Duffeld in this session, but if you look, it's 1.1 the entire grid. This is a circuit where you can see DRS play a good role, and my oh my, just look at the separation between this 1 through 10. It is half a second.
Second indeed. Got to keep in mind though, there is rain coming, so
there is rain.
It's going to be hard to get those moves done.
Well, risks will need to be taken, and we don't even know, is it heavy rain? Tell your friends, tell everybody, shout it from the rooftops. We got rain coming here in Monza, and it is Lucas Yan on pole. The Mercedes, TJ Spin on the front row next to him. And we have Phoenix Bo Mateo. It is not the Williams we expected to land in the top 3 here. But it is, of course, Phoenix. And he will be very happy with that. Look at this. Lucas Yan. Man, oh man. 19.433 from him. TJ there. Really quick. Just tight to the rear on that front row. Phoenix Bo Mateo in 2.5 tenths. You've got Karma Lesson right there as well. Becky. Everyone representing extremely well here. Some very fast times. Casquito Benitez has taken a 5-position grid penalty, so Duffeld will start ahead of him without a time, if I'm not mistaken. Welcome to Italy. Welcome to Monza. The rain is coming, and that is bad news for many, not for us. And I don't see rain yet, and I do see medium tires.
I think. Oof, it could very well become Intex condition. This is touch and go striff.
I like it. Spicy.
I love it. I love it. I think as a driver in this game, you do want Intex conditions over full wet conditions. So this is a bit of a blessing, but you don't like it when it's between the two. It makes it for great viewing, and it can be a little bit of fun. But when you're racing 19 other competitors, you kind of want it to be, cut and dry. You don't want any doubts in your mind about what is the right way to go.
All right. A few seconds. You can see the raindrops ever so gently falling here. Take a look as we get to the grid as everyone's on slicks. And this is really spicy as there's rain coming down, but it is going to be a dry start. Only 2 drivers on the medium. I don't believe this is a good call if there's rain already falling. We could see pit stops come very quickly here and that intermediate tire come out. The medium,
I agree. I agree. Maybe they're thinking that rain could come around lap 15. It might get heavy around there. It's just, well, it's a bit of a risk considering those mediums are going to be very, very hard to, get the heat into them. As see in the chat, some idiot, time to pit on the formation lap. we wish that we could do that. Not the way the game works, Drift.
No, unfortunately not.
That would really add an element to this race, but we can see I can see there are damp spots on the track. I'm not sure if you can, but
there's going to be some touch and go areas without a doubt here.
Yeah,
I think everyone...
Ascari and the Lesmos. I wouldn't be surprised seeing some people spin there. Even turn 1. It's going to be interesting.
Alrighty. Lucas Yan, TJ Spin, Phoenix Bo Mateo, our top 3. We have Carmelesson and Becky B there as well in the top 5. Cotters 6th, Rhapsody in 7th, Johnny Disco in 8th, Sales in 9th. Everyone getting these slicks as warmed up as they can with the wet conditions. It's going to be tricky, very, very tricky. Seajoss, Maxim, Yama, Jacob through 13. We have Sidewinder on the mediums in 14th. And we have Gabox in 15th with Yaya. Right behind him on the softs, Johnny on the mediums as well. He is 17th with Siffy behind him, Duffeld, Casquito, Benitez, and of course, everyone now getting to their final grid positions. A lot of eyes on that man there in 5th position, Mr. Becky B. He is the championship leader. Wet conditions have not really come through into this division just yet. For everybody, this is going to be a very, very interesting race. Slicks. Oh my. We are just about ready to go racing here in Italy. 3, 4, 5 red lights here in Monza. The engines are revving. The lights are out. And away we go. It's Becky B with a very good launch here. TJ Spin looking at Lucas Yan already, but Becky B has gone from 5th to 3rd instantaneously, and what a launch for the championship leader. Very nicely done, and behind him, hopefully everybody doing okay. There's a little bit of contact between Becky now and TJ Spin. TJ with a really big issue on exit now of turn 2. You can see Lucas Yan nearly 2 seconds out in front. More shuffling here on the rear, but we're looking at all of what's going on with the race leaders. And look at this, Carmelesson's right there. My oh my, this has been a very, very, very chaotic race start here in Italy.
TJ Spin off, Becky B's going to get through, so is Carmelesson as well, Striff. So one mistake and you see yourself drop positions, as we saw Phoenix Bamateo. Didn't get a great start. He got into a situation of a 3 wide into turn 1. He got pushed up and he went down the order as well.
Yeah, he's dropped all the way into 9th position. He's under threat from Gabox. You can see that Yama has just taken him as Duffeld and Johnny have now had some kind of issue at the back end of this grid. We'll check in just a second as Gabox, a slight tap on the rear of Phoenix. You can see everybody trying to find grip in these wet conditions. Let's take a look now. Casquito, Benitez, what's happened here? Casquito dropping the Alpine. No visible damage. Cotters and Johnny Disco through the Curve Alboreto. Cotters on the outside. It's Alfa Romeo versus McLaren. They're wheel to wheel. Very tight racing action coming right now as Johnny Disco, 6th position, is where he is holding station as Gabox on the rear of Phoenix Bomateo. Fronts to rears, everything so tight. Wheel to wheel coming into turn 1. Did he tap the Haas? It was so close.
Done a great job to pull that up. he panic would have ensued in his face because really he had gone way too hot into the corner. He's done a great job just to lock the fronts. Not too much, but
yeah, Cotters wheel to wheel now into the Della Roggia. It's very tight. Cotters over the curbing there. You don't want to really find yourself. You can see Gabox takes advantage with ease into 8th position for the AlphaTauri. A very neat and opportunistic move. He pulled the trigger, Seb, and he took it.
Yeah, he took it indeed. A little bit of battling can do that because traction is so hard in these mixed conditions. We see a bit of side by side. That's Jacob. He passed Sales. Sales is.
Oh, there's big contact. Casquito Benitez into the rear of Maxim. A shunt to the left, and I don't know what happened there to cause it. Did not look good from our camera view there at all. There was about 4 or 5 cars in a very tight group right now. Cjoss putting Phoenix Bomateo under threat. Phoenix, he started this race in 3rd position, and he is dropping like a stone here, Seb, and he has no chance against this Haas right now. None at all.
Yeah, he needs to quickly switch it on, otherwise he'll be falling further out of the points than he already is. They're going side by side, Swift. I don't think he's going to give this up too easily. Cjoss using a bit of that ERS. He will take P10. That's official now. Jacob's going to get on the inside of Phoenix as well, so he needs to get that move on. He needs to find where the grip is, otherwise his race could be over very soon.
Jacob, a big slide, a big slip coming out of turn 2, and right now Sales is just sitting in his rear view mirrors. The Ferrari here around home, big expectations, of course. It's the Alfa Romeos who've had a fantastic week here, already collecting 2 wins out of the 3 races we've had here so far. Ziffy, Sidewinder, they exchange as the medium's not paying off yet. And will they? That is a big question. Yeah, right now he is onto the intermediate compound tires, and I don't know if it's time for this. We don't have any clear indication of whether or not the DRS is going to be coming offline soon. You can see it's online presently for Sidewinder on the rear of Ziffy.
Tell you what, this rain is kind of holding steady. It's not getting heavier on my screens. The track doesn't look like it's getting any worse, so we may be getting these mixed conditions for a while yet.
Lucas Yan showing that the conditions not slowing him down at 26.729. TJ Spin says not fast enough. Here's mine, 26.729. Very fast runs coming out of these guys. 7.69 for Lucas, 7.29 for TJ. And Becky, well, I think he has the 3rd quickest lap in the session at an 8.32. So he really wants to get himself into a race win position here to continue carrying that lead ahead. As you mentioned, it was a 9-point separation between him and Lucas, and as things stand, even if Becky finishes in 2nd, Lucas isn't there yet, is he?
No, he isn't. He'd be 2 points off. The most important thing is they're creating separation to TJ Spin at the moment. He is, I'd say, down in 4th place, but you know, there's still decent points are getting there. But considering he could be in P2, barring that mistake at turn 4 and 5, it could be looking better for him.
Yeah, I'm looking at Johnny Disco. Does he send it here? He thinks better of it. That would have been a little bit late, I think, to try and send it at that point as well in these conditions. A little bit of separation forming.
Yeah. Tammy's going to make sure he does this move cleanly because he does have Gabox behind him, who is up 7 positions, so he's had a brilliant opening phase to his race. He might be able to see this battle ensue for a bit longer, Striff, and Hammond's going to get his move on now.
Yeah, he really needs to punch it, and he's going to utilize that DRS on the rear of Johnny. Now to the left-hand side, how do we go into the Red Ophelia chicane? Yama coasting through into 6th position neatly, and there isn't much of a defense coming out of Johnny here. Where's Gabox? Well, the entire train in procession on the rear of him right now. Any of these drivers make a mistake, it could be so costly. TJ Spin, Karma Lesson, less than half a second between those two. Johnny Disco. Oh no, there's been a spin for him, and he is now looking the other way through the Della Roggia. He is going to have to cut and to come back on here, and you can see Siffy will overtake him, his teammate, as a result. And that is bad luck for the Tier 2 reserve coming in tonight.
Yeah, all that squabbling, it's allowed CEST to get by Cotters. So just that's what I'm talking about. A little bit of momentum in wet conditions. And you can easily get some Gaiva who's lost it. Meanwhile, TJ spinning Karma, they've been converging on each other recently, and we could see this battle for third heat up.
We got a yellow flag that's coming out of Ascari. That's Sales. He is looking the other way, and there are some cars coming behind him as Johnny Mooson pushing through. Carmeles and TJ spin exchanging down the straight into turn 1. Further down, more exchanging as Cotters, Joss tight. Jacob there in the other Alfa Romeo.
Becky B is getting a move on Striff. Lucas Jan's done a 27.1 and 27.2 his past 2 laps. Becky B's done 2:26.9, so he's trying to get that. He's trying to catch him quickly. Get what's in that DRS range.
Well, DRS still enabled despite the rain, and we don't know how long we're going to be seeing these slick, wet conditions. That DRS could be a big difference maker.
Right now, the closest battle on track is between the 2 Alfa Romeo drivers, but
not anymore. It isn't. There's a big slide from Jacob, and Phoenix Bomateo just walks by.
I might have cursed that.
Yeah, mighta.
Just mighta. But Gavox right now in between. Sandwich. Oh, Phoenix is around. He's dropped it on the exit of Ascari, Striff.
That's not a good place to drop it at all. And that's not the first time we've seen issues through there, and he's got that front left damaged. Joss on the rear of Gabox.
Joss has got a great run. Yeah, he's got a great run. Gabox stuck in between this Haas sandwich. He will get this help from DRS, but Joss has got a mighty run on him. He's going to look for a lunge. No, but Gabox outbrakes him. Very confident on the brakes, Gabox. Showing some good signs that he could make some lunges down the field.
This grid really separating compared to what we saw in qualifying, given the conditions and the strategies, how people have played it with the risks. Ooh, a big snap coming out of Yama. This has exposed him heavily to Gabox. And look at this. Fronts to rears. Yama not happy about it. We come through the Lesmo. Oh, it's tight between them. Yama. You can see his teammate Joss looking on at this. Cotters is there as well. This train is in seriously tight running right now as we come down into, of course, the Ascari chicane. Gabox right there. He looks to the outside. He's ahead. Oh, what a move coming out of Gabox in the AlphaTauri.
That is brave. In the wet around the outside of turn 8 of Ascari. But let me see that. It's a great move. But Yamamoto, I'll tell you what, he did a good job just to try and hold off Gabox through Lesmos 1 and 2 after that mistake at the Della Roggia chicane. But Yamamoto does have a chance now to get Gabox back.
Joss, a bit of a slip coming out of the curve. Alvaretto could have exposed him a little bit more so to Cotters. Yama charging with that battery. He doesn't have a lot of battery at his disposal. He's trying to coast it along the inside, and Yama, I don't think that was on, sir. Oh, did he ever just try to glide it there on the inside, and that has caused a massive issue.
I could kind of see that coming. I think Gabox might have locked his rears as well, but there's no excuse for hitting another driver like that. Will most likely get sent to the stewards and will most likely be a penalty. Meanwhile, Becky B is starting to lose onto the back of Lucas Yan.
I can't blame him, because I think I would have done the same thing in these conditions, because the other car isn't, it's so tough to judge. You're sliding, the conditions, they present such a difficult dynamic.
That's a tough
Potter's
one. It's
sixth
yeah,
position for him right
Jacob's.
now, and you can see Gabox, CEST there pushing ahead of Jacob.
He might have some wing damage because Gavox didn't necessarily rejoin in the cleanest way, did he? As we see, Karma spun at the Parabolica.
He's coming straight in.
Pits. Yeah.
Here goes CEST looking at Gabox. Gabox looking for a squeeze. CEST says, don't even think about it. Through into 7th position for the Haas. Oh, Jacob with a big slide, and he is round. He's on the grass in the off run of turn 2. That is horrible for the Alfa Romeo at this point in the race. Gabox on the rear of CEST still into the Della Roggia, nothing doing.
These McLarens in P9 and 10 have kept out of, well, mostly kept out of trouble, and well, I wouldn't say they're tripping over each other at this moment, but they're not necessarily helping each other. They got Sidewinder right behind them, so they're going to need to get a move on if they want to get some serious points here.
That yellow Maxim B, or what happened there? Yellow flag up through that sector 1-2 split. Mosquito Benitez has retired the car. Excuse me, coming out of the first Lesmo.
Safety car, good time to pit. Oh, it's tough though because the rain is getting heavier, Striff. I've noticed the lap times have started to drop. Lucas Yan's gone from 27 to 28. He has dropped Becky B though, in terms of gap.
This is very, very interesting to see a safety car come out now. Those intermediates, are they ever going to be looking good? Cotters comes in for mediums. No one wants to get on inners.
Yeah, no one willing to take that risk. Surprised actually. I can understand why they wouldn't. Yeah, the track for me still doesn't look wet enough to justify going onto inters.
Sidewinder 303 has a ton of medium runners in front of him where, well, he has a ton of medium runners and a ton of worn soft runners in front of him, realistically speaking here. In a very good position, the Red Bull, and the chat's taken very good notice as well, I can see. What strategies we have seen play out in this one, man, and I don't, when someone says wet, you don't think slicks. We saw it last week, though.
Yeah, this is an interesting case. It's hard to pick. I'd go with whatever the field goes with. You just gotta hope that no one takes the risk, which no one really is. I think someone down the field would be willing to do that. Maybe Phoenix by Mateo can think of it. But yeah, it's hard to call at the moment. Very hard to call, considering they've all gone through these, what has been 9 laps so far of green flag running, and they've all relatively kept it safe and clean. They've gotten used to the conditions. I think they are confident enough that they can make those mediums work and the rain's not going to get heavier.
Lucas Yan catching that safety car now. Becky B in 2nd position. He started in 5th. See the position changes as things start to settle in a little bit on the rear of the safety car. Now, I can't recall the gap between Becky and Lucas at the time the safety car was deployed. I think it might have still been just outside of that 1 second range. And Becky B did not have the most ideal opportunity to fight with Lucas, given he started in 5th position. I think this may now come differently, that Becky B has given this opportunity to catch him.
hmm He's got, well, he's got fresher tires than he did before, so kind of worked as he was catching him early on, and then midway through, around lap 6, started kind of losing to him. I think that gap ended up being around 2.5 seconds. So he's got those fresh tyres again. A good chance now to see how these top three pan out, because TJ Spinner's in there as well. After we had Carmelescent have a bit of a mix-up on the lap prior to the safety car, so could see these top three getting into it, and this could get very exciting.
Well, here we go now. We're going to be more than likely coming in for green flag on lap 13. We'll be back to green flag as we're on lap 12 right now. What a race we've had up to this point. We've seen so many risks being taken in these conditions already.
These, I mean, safety cars breach safety cars, but they're definitely going to breach safety cars in the wet. And tell you why, because these medium tires are going to be so hard to get up to temperature. You might see a couple of incidents in turn 1 and even to the Della Roggia chicane strip.
The safety car restart is going to be absolutely critical. It's going to be a very, very major element. Lucas Yan, he needs to get it just right, and everybody else needs to really kind of hold him well. You can really come up with a few tricks to try to shake up a restart. We've seen them all. Some are safe, some aren't. Safety car will not cross the split. Not giving us a full-blown indicator yet. We're going to wait for Yeah to catch the grid potentially here. Could be a late call. There's been an issue. It would appear CEST dropping through this grid.
Yeah, looks like we will get one more lap through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see something, or I don't know what happened to the Ferrari?
No, he's been at the back for a while. He's trying to catch up, but he might have had a moment somewhere because he's still very far behind.
I thought he was a lot closer than this.
Yeah, I thought he was around this distance, the lap prior, so he probably has had a mistake somewhere. So CEST enters the pits. He had damage from something. That just shows how treacherous these conditions are on slick tyres. Bit of a damp track. And even lose it under a safety car. That's what we've seen. CEST onto softs. So 3 soft runners. They could have a very good run of this drift.
Well, if you're enjoying the stream, tell us in the chat. Of course, we want to know who you have your eyes on the most. Who has really caught your eye in this race? And we have Lucas Yan, Becky B, and TJ Spin, our top 3 right now. Rhapsody, 4th position, and Cotters, top 5. Very good run for the Alfa Romeo this evening. 3 slots where he is now. 1 slot, excuse me. Rhapsody's up 3. Becky B is up 3. Of course, my name is Stryfium. Here from Canada, we have Mr. Seb all the way from the land down under in Australia. And thank you so much to everybody tuning into the stream. Greatly appreciate the support as we have these wet, tricky conditions. The safety car is saying goodbye. Lucas is in charge, Seb.
Lucas is in charge. Keep your eyes on side window though, on those soft tyres. It's a soft medium normally in dry conditions, so and with the wet as well, I think he should be able to make those tyres last. The 13 odd laps of green flag running we will have, so the car coming in and we're about to get rolling. Be careful of turn 1.
Becky B on the rear of Lucas Yan now. Lucas Yan looking to find some grip here on the exit of the Curve Alboreto. How has Becky caught him? Is there enough traction for everybody to flow well? Lucas Yan flooring it. Just about 7/10 the separation. Becky dragging that gap down. And look at how TJ has lost out here. 1.2. We have a few laps yet to go, but as we come into turn 1, surely he can gain some of that time. Rhapsody's been rear-ended from Cotters. He has been forced to take the off-road there. He takes a 3-second time penalty, and that is not good at all.
Not the only one. Sidewinder dropping positions as well. I see Johnny Disco, he went wide into turn 1 as well. So TJ spin. Reason why he's down so much on Becky B and Lucas Yang is he got caught with the restart right as he was in the middle of that parabolica curve, the Alboreto curve. So Lucas Yang has timed that restart just about perfectly to not drop Becky B, but he's certainly dropped the rest of the field.
Yama, Cotters, they had an exchange. The Haas getting through in the De La Rogia chicane, and now things really shaking up in this grid as you see Rhapsody with the penalty after going through that runoff. Phoenix Momateo, Sejoss having a drag race into the Ascari chicane as Sejoss on these softs is looking to flow through as quickly as he possibly can. Johnny, softs for him on the rear of Jacob, holding within 3 to 4/10. Here's Siffy on the rear of Gabox just in front of them with a great exit. You can see both of these drivers with good exits. Who's going to have an opportunity first? I think it's going to be Johnny, looking fronts to rears for him, just trying to breeze by Jacob here. Jacob not utilizing much battery right now. Siffy very close to Gabox. Here goes Jacob. Later on the brakes, a bit of a slide for him, holding on the inside of the Redophilia. Oh man, look at this fight between Johnny and Jacob. Johnny with a great carry of speed, looking at Siffy as well.
Soft just has so much grip. If he's going to go around the outside into the De La Rogia chicane, they bang wheels, and Johnny Musso will have to go off the track. He shouldn't be able to hold on to that position, but
yeah, he just cut big time there. Sales Maxim wheel to wheel through the first Lesmo. Sales on the inside now, holding on. So much racing here. Johnny Disco on the rear of Jacob. Gabox, Johnny, they exchange into Ascari just ahead. Sales drops to Phoenix.
Gabox in all sorts through the Ascari chicane. He will definitely come under pressure from Siffy if Siffy gets a good run through the parabolica.
DRS now enabled as Lucas Yan begins lap 16 of contention. You can see Jacob on the rear of Siffy carrying a ton of speed in comparison. Siffy struggling under threat here. DRS, that rain's still coming down. No DRS just yet. Oh man. Johnny takes a 3-second time penalty, but Jacob not able to get anything done here just yet with Siffy. Is it ever tight between the McLaren? Now look at the carry of speed, a little bit of battery utilization for Jacob. Wheel to wheel. Oh my. Siffy holding 10th position right behind them. Sidewinder Sejoss.
Sejoss making a good run of it. He's found himself up about 6 positions from where he was. So he's got some more work to do if he wants some points though. Softer coming alive. Swift Johnny Moose on all over the back of Carmelescent.
Less than 310 Siffy as well. Gabox, they're exchanging just behind. Siffy ahead of the AlphaTauri into the Curve Alboreto. We're going to jump back to Johnny as he pushes out of the same turn. Looking very tight to the rear, fronts to rears now. Softs versus mediums. DRS in utilization.
Carmelescent has a straight line speed drift. Oh, Johnny a big dive, but he's able to pull the car up with those soft tyres. So they're providing so much grip for him that he's able to pull this off, whereas the medium runners are probably struggling to keep those tyre temps up.
A very nice move there from Johnny. He had the faith in the car. He got it done. Jacob, uh-oh, that's not good. There's been a big crash. Maxim B, Jacob have come together just outside of turn 2, ahead of Curva Grande. Virtual safety car has been deployed.
Good chance for drivers to catch their breath. Lucas Yen is well and truly putting his foot on the neck of this race. He's got that 1 second gap to Becky B, and Becky B's not able to really close on him, and TJ Spin is well off the top 2.
I think there might be a little bit of desync for Sidewinder right now. All right, here we go.
Mercedes look like they're going to get some good points. Rhapsody's in P4, but he does have Yamamoto and Cottage behind, albeit with that time penalty, so he could drop as well.
I think we're about to go back to green because they're all these drivers trying to drop Delta. There we go. Any drive-throughs? No drive-throughs. So a lot of drivers fortunate, I imagine. Everyone trying to get things dropped down. Yeah. And Sales exchange. And oh, Sales just oh man, he almost went into the rear of Yeah there. That was close. Here goes Johnny. Another lunge coming out of the softs for him, and he has taken 6th position from Cotters with ease. See Joss Gabox with an exchange. Tiffy looking for Gabox as well. McLaren wanting that final points paying position. I think this has been so hard for these racers given, well, excuse me, Yama. Johnny exchange, 5th position now for Johnny. He's just pushing these softs as hard as he can, getting as many positions as he can. Cotters, Karma Lesson, things are tight between these two on the rear of Yama as well. It's been a fantastic race to watch tonight. I have to say, it's been a very tight, intense race. These conditions really throwing a monkey wrench into it.
I'll tell you what, this would be pretty fun to drive in, but it adds an extra element with this wet weather and the fact that they keep DRS as well. Eventually we'll get some overtaking.
Lap 19
Johnny
of 27.
Muson, he's just got so much more grip over everyone else. He has so much ERS as well. He really needs to build that gap. He's got a good run on Rhapsody. He's looking down the inside of Della Rogia. Please don't tell me you're going for the... Oh, he is, Striff. Oh, he is. He ever. Is he going to try and put Rhapsody off? No, he's going to get spun around. Oh, he holds on to it. Nevertheless, in wet conditions.
There's a big traffic jam. A big traffic jam. Sorry to interrupt you there. Yama, Rhapsody, they have their exchange, but in the back, look at the gap between Cotters and Gabox and the rest of that train behind them. They got held up.
Held up indeed. See Joss around the outside. He's on their softs. Hasn't been able to necessarily fire them up, but he is gaining position, so that's a good sign. Siffy will back out of that move, and Rhapsody trying to stick to Yama. Karma's up there as well, and Cetus has already found himself all over the back of Karma.
Things really ramping up into the final stages of this race, and I don't believe we're going to see these conditions getting any heavier. I think they may get drier. If anything, I feel as though it's light. Well, I feel as though things are getting brighter and things are lighting up here. Oh, Yama Rhapsody with a bit of a drag race. Rhapsody on that inside. Yama holding 5th.
Johnny Muson, he should be able to get that 5 seconds on these guys. He dropped around 4/10 in the space of 2 corners. Albeit these two were fighting. But that just shows how good their softs are.
Carmelesson, Gabox. There's a lunge coming out of Carmelesson into 8th now.
so much. Look at Gavox is squirming at the Lesmo 1, and Sejos able to get such a good run through Lesmo 2. Both have DRS. Doesn't look like Sejos will be able to get the move done now, but they're certainly looking
Oh!
Oh, okay.
Oh! Okay!
Okay.
What a
Chop
move.
that up, put that to music, montage that. I mean, Gavox did break early, so that's helped Sejos, but wow.
He does not want to wait
Another
around for him
great
at all.
move.
That was very nice.
Very, very nice.
Gabox had no answer for that. Right now, Sales fronts to rears with Siffy coming out of the Curve Alboreto. And Siffy looking like he is under all sorts of threat here from the Ferrari. And you can see now, well, he's pushing. He does not want to yield anything to this Ferrari. And there's a big lunge coming out of Sales much later on the brakes. Does he get this? Siffy holds it, and he... Oh, my. What a hold coming out of the McLaren there. Carmelesson and Cotters exchanging.
Thought we were going to have a Verstappen Hamilton for a second there. Sanogo in the pits. He's going on to another set of softs, but... So that's about being Sejos has got some more work to do if he wants some more points. And I'll tell you what, Johnny Mousson has severely dropped Yamamoto and Rhapsody.
Well, that's very, very good for him. Given the fact that he has that 3-second time penalty right now, he needs to build as much of a gap as he possibly can. Yama hasn't been able to shake Rhapsody.
Oh, Sejos got a brilliant run out of Ascari. He's looking around the outside of Cotters. You might think wiser of it, because he wants that DRS, doesn't he, Striff? You see, he kind of pulled out of it. Cotters gets in front, but I don't think he'll stay in front for much longer. That's a run out of Parabolic. Sejos just matches him perfectly, and I think this move will be done if we cross over that start line.
Cotters utilizing that battery as we came into that Parabolica, but of course Sejos, very nice patient move coming out of the Haas here. Now 8th position for him. You can see he's already going to have an opportunity to catch up with Carmelesson for 7th. And if he carries enough momentum in front of Carmelesson, he can very well bring himself to Rhapsody. Time will tell. We have just about 6 laps remaining given the current lap that we're on. And a thrilling race. Very strategical thriller. You look at the conditions that we had, and well, I think they got a little bit drier as the race carried on. I think things were more intense when we began.
Yeah, I agree with that. As the stakes get higher, tell you what, I love these weather conditions. I think I said it before as well. These weather conditions have been a great element to this race. Finished by Matteo, great run. Gabox, who is falling down the order at the moment, but Bomber, Matteo, back in the points now.
Siffy takes the rear of Gabox. They've been doing some fighting. See now with a carry of speed using that battery, pushing through ahead into 11th position. Sales is there also. Some good pockets of racing here. Gabox flying into the pit lane.
You might have had wing damage. It looked like it through the understeer got through the Parabolica curve, the Alboreto curve. Rhapsody and Yamamoto. We might need to keep an eye on this as these final 5 laps, you know, play out, because they're getting very close to each other, and Carmelesson is right with them along with Sejos.
Yeah, these drivers need to be very careful about what risks they take. Carmelesson, oh man, is he ever sitting and pressurizing on this Mercedes. Johnny 2.1, and well, he might be able to get himself within range of TJ here, but that penalty, pushing a gap ahead of TJ with that penalty, getting ahead of TJ, it's an entirely different story.
would almost be wise just to sit behind, to be honest, because if he gets into an incident with TJ, that could be very detrimental.
Joss on the rear of Karma Lesson. Rhapsody burning it on the rear of Yama. Yama defending to that inside. Here goes Joss in one of the Haas. He pushes to that inside. He wants to hold that inside. Does he take Karma Lesson here? A little bit of contact, a little bit of wheel rubbing there, but he does have that 7th position.
It looked like a bit of wheel rubbing. I think CEST tried to avoid it, but it's very hard to. Once you get that wheel rubbing, your cars just kind of converge on each other.
There has been an issue. That is TJ spin, and this is potentially a big issue for the Aston Martin, as I don't know if he's had a puncture or what's going on in this car for him. It could be that maybe things are just too wet for the mediums, but that has been a major loss for him. You can see Yama, a 1.7 is the gap, and he will have a potential opportunity to drop that even more so given the tire condition of TJ spin. And I'm wondering if TJ had another issue earlier given how Johnny was able to catch him so quick.
Yeah, I just wonder if he's not on it at the moment. It's just not what he wants, because he's third in the championship. He's still only 17 points off, and dropping 3 points is not a great thing. But tell you what, CEST and Yamamoto are working together very well. CEST has got a chance at P5 here.
Rhapsody under threat. Yama also under threat, looking to defend. Yama trying to squeeze off Rhapsody.
Got a good run. He kind of matched Rhapsody's, and he's using that ERS drift. Might go for a lunge here.
I think he might. Oh, okay. He thought about it. He most definitely thought about it.
Yeah, it did good to see. He thought wiser of it, because here in my Rhapsody does have a 3-second time penalty, and well, CEST does have 2 more laps to get this done. So it's a smart move from a very leveled head.
Lap 25 out of 27 as we come into Ascari right now. Rhapsody tight to the rear of Yama within 2/10 as he went into the turn. Nothing yet, and that might have exposed him a little too much to Yama's teammate. If Rhapsody gets both Haas in front of him, it's going to be very hard for him to get rid of him. Right now, CEST, this is very crucial. Yama. Oh, CEST looking for the exit. Yama, I think he might have done his teammate a bit of a favor there.
Yama should get out of the way considering those soft tires and try and use that DRS, but look at the run Rhapsody gets. He's going to get boxed in though. That's some excellent teamwork from the 2 Haas drivers. Yama knew exactly what the task was. Just box the driver, and that's going to allow Karma Lesson through.
Oh my, that is some hard racing, and man, what a position to find yourself in when you have 2 teammates there like that.
It's absolutely brilliant for Yamamoto, because he knew exactly what he needed to do. Stick right, make sure he...
Karma with a big lunge on Yama. He doesn't want to deal with any Haas team antics, and there's still some squeezing going on here between these 2. Rhapsody on the rear of it. He's going to look through for Karma. Oh, man, are we ever intense on this 26th lap? This is the penultimate lap, and these guys aren't giving each other any breathing room at all. Yama trying to hold station in 6th position on the rear of his teammate. Karma Lesson and Rhapsody don't want any of it. Karma Lesson pushing through on Yama.
That might backfire though. We do have 2 more DRS zones to go, especially that one of turn 1, but he has pulled away a lot through the Ascari chicane, so maybe he's backing himself the grip he has to get a sizable gap that he can defend for himself.
Here we have Cotters on the rear of Rhapsody. Yama. You can see Siffy pushing on the rear of Cotters. This train is so much aligned right now as we're on the 27th lap. Becky B within 1.3 of Lucas. Look at this. Siffy looking for Cotters now. A big lunge coming out of the McLaren. He's going to have that inside through turn 2. 9th position for this McLaren right now. How does he hold it? Phoenix Momateo pushing through on the Alfa Romeo. There's a yellow flag. That's Johnny Disco as Cotters drops throttle and loses to Sales as well.
Oh, it's going to be heartbreaking. He'll still, I think, get points for those time penalties of Rhapsody, Siffy, and Sales ahead, but that's gotta kill what was looking like some decent points for him.
What a race this has been. Phoenix Momentum and Sales, they have another exchange as Lucas Yan comes through now, the final turn here in Italy, and he will come across in the Mercedes with a celebratory weave to take the checkered flag, and it will be Becky B following him to the line in second, and Johnny Moosen will push through in the AlphaTauri to collect a checkered flag third position finish as well. And what a race to the line we are going to have now between Carmelesson and Yamamoto. Carmelesson, sixth position. Yama looking for the best exit. Sejoss will cross now in fifth position as Carmelesson. Yama, 6 and 7 for them. Rhapsody 8th. Siffy in 9th. Sales will lose out too. Well, there's been a huge shuffle. Phoenix Mateo 8th. Rhapsody in 9th. Cotters in 10th. Siffy drops out, as does Sales. Man, oh man, what a session finish.
What a session indeed. Gavos just crosses the line. He's in P13, but the McLaren still can't get a point in America's Tier 1. Siffy misses out by 0.03 of a second.
That is very, very tough. I mean, they may get something should penalties come, and I think there may be some penalties in this one. We'll have to see following the race, but man, what a race it was at that. We are going to have interviews in just a few moments with whomever is available from our top three. And of course, we're going to have a raid. What a race. I mean, Johnny gets Driver of the Day game awarded. He made up a massive number of positions. And Becky B, I mean, I'm happy that we get an opportunity to talk to Becky because I need to ask him what that feeling was, what the emotion, what the rush was that took over when he got through that start of the race like that. He was able to get a rocket launch into turn 1, take 3 positions right off the hop. It must have felt great.
Yeah, that must have really felt great. Another good drive from Sejoss. Well, I see him in chat. Well done to Sejoss. He was kind of nowhere at the start of that, safety car, but he found himself back into some good point scoring position.
Yeah, very good. And well, Johnny, a Canadian there, I can't say I'm disappointed about that. Always good to see one of my fellow countrymen up on the podium. Lucas Yan, though, first to first, it was a very good result for the Brazilian. 26.502, his fastest run of the session. A very good run in the session as well. We had Becky B. He started in 5th. He finished second. And, well, things tight between these two now. I think 2 points is the separation in the championship. Of course, Johnny, 17th to 3rd. What a haul of points it was for him in the end. And it was TJ Spin. He started on the front row. He drops back to 4th. And Sejoss from 10th to 5th. Running out our top 5. We had Carmelesson, Yama, Phoenix Pomateo, Rhapsody, and Cotters rounding out through the points there. And we had a few retirements in this one as well. We had Casquito Benitez and a few drivers getting lapped. Man, oh man, was it ever a fun campaign overall. I cannot wait to see how things carry into Suzuka in 2 weeks' time.
I do believe we have a driver in the waiting room shift, so we could be able to get interviews underway very soon.
There we go. We have Mr. of course, Johnny Moosen, or Mr. Babatunde, as known in Discords around. How are you feeling? I'm very happy to see a Canadian on the podium. It was a very, very intense race. Italy. Man, oh man. These conditions. Slick tires, wet conditions. How are you feeling after that? 27 laps of that must have been crazy.
Yeah. I stupidly started on the mediums, which at the time looked like a bad idea. Obviously, it worked out in my favor at the end. Because obviously, you can brake later with the softs, and the softs are faster. Like, you can brake like 50 meters, not 50 meters, like 25 meters in front with the softs. So I didn't have much pace at the start, and then obviously I don't know what happened, but like in the second Lesmo, I got rear-ended, and then kind of just worked my way back. The safety car happened, which kind of saved me. We went to go on softs, and the softs were like 3 seconds quicker, so like it's really easy to gap and catch people.
Well, it was a very, very good race for you in the end to be able to push out all the way into third from, you started, was it 17th position where you began this race?
17th position, yeah.
So for you to come through in these conditions to get where you landed, that must be a huge achievement for you. And it must really set you up well for what's coming in Suzuka. We have a bit of a break now. Kind of leave the, you go into a break with a good finish like this. You come through into Suzuka and things would be looking, I imagine, for you pretty good.
Yeah, I was gone for 3 weeks. I was away on vacation in France, and I came back didn't expect to do much in my first race back, but obviously did a good job, so it's good.
Well, it was a great return. And of course, congratulations to you on the P3. Do you have any messages for the viewers before we move on to speak to Becky?
I may be back to my point finishing ways like last year in AMT2.
Well, there you go. That's what you want to hear. All right, congratulations, Babatunde. Johnny, it's great to see you drive, and what a position haul for you. 17th to 3rd, man. Great stuff.
Thank you.
That was Babatunde, everybody. And now, of course, we are going to be speaking to, in just one moment, Mr. Becky B. Becky B joining us now. What a race, and what a race start, I have to say. The qualifying, not the best qualifying you've had. We'll get to that, but I just want to kick things off and say, well, congratulations to you on your 2nd position finish. Not a win here in Italy, but a great podium nonetheless, and I have to say, from 5th to 2nd inside of, I think it was 2 turns if I saw it right, it looked great. It looked great, and your start must have been fantastic. How did that feel? What was the emotion coming out of turn 2? Was there a big grin?
If I'm being honest, I was kind of raging a little bit coming out of turn 2 because TJ kind of missed his braking point a little bit, so he kind of overshot the corner and forced me off the track. So I think in a perfect scenario, I think I would have been challenging Lucas coming out of turn 2, but I can't be upset after gaining 3 positions in the matter of, I don't know, 1,000 meters or whatever it was. So probably less than that, actually. So yeah, definitely a really good start. I knew I needed to get a good start because that qualifying was terrible for me. I invalidated my last run, and I think it would have been probably a low 0.2. So I was, I think, like almost 0.6 up when I invalidated. So
it was a crazy race, I have to say, and it, not just because of some of the stuff that everyone had to pull off in the race, but talk us through the conditions on your end. Slick tires, again, wet conditions in Italy. What was that run? Even the run into turn 1, it must have been difficult for everybody. No one was going to have, the best idea of where to go with that. Must have just been wild through the entire 27 laps to have those conditions.
Yeah, it was definitely, a little hard on the arms, having to, correct all the time. The car was sliding all over the place, especially when I was trying to push most of the race, trying to catch up to Lucas, because I think he was basically like a 10th or 2 faster than me almost every lap. So he was barely creeping, and I was having to burn my battery to try to stick with him. But yeah, it was definitely a fairly enjoyable race. A little boring because not too many battles on track, but that's just comes with the conditions. So yeah, pretty happy with the result though. I think I still barely hold the lead in the championship. So
I believe it's 2
we'll
points the difference now.
Yeah, 2 points. I think that's what my chat was telling me. So
yeah, that's very, very tight. And well, a circuit coming up now. You have a week off. Everybody has a week off now. We come into a break week, and then it is round 6, and it is going to be Japan. How are you feeling for Suzuka?
Considering the league race I had at Japan last night, not great, but definitely need to do some practice. So yeah, we'll have to see.
You already have an idea of where you need to go.
Exactly.
Then. So I guess that's a bit of a better. It's an edge up in itself with a week of preparation potentially, an extra week.
For sure. Yeah,
Seb,
I'll definitely need it. So
Seb, any last questions for Becky before we let him go, because I don't want to take up too much of his time.
Yeah, so we have this off week. Just what are you planning on doing this off week? Taking a quick break, or just going to practice?
Probably taking a break, focusing on streaming a little bit. But yeah, definitely going to catch up on some schoolwork too. Classes are definitely pretty tough this semester. So basically, when you guys are seeing me stream, that's when I'm playing the game. So not a lot of practice going on outside of the streaming and stuff like that. So it'll be nice to have a little bit of extra time in place of, you know, when I would normally be doing the league race to get some practice in, but definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, congratulations on a good P2, and looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time at Japan.
Cheers. Thanks.
Take care, Becky, and have a great night. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. See you later, Striff.
Alrighty, everybody, that is going to wrap up our America's Tier 1 coverage. What a race, what a finale it was, all the way to the line with the wet conditions, the slick tires, the epic risk-taking. Man, oh man, Seb, what a race. And of course, that is going to be it for us until tomorrow, where we will be back, Mr. Unicorn and I, for the Tier 2 racing action again here in Monza. But Seb, thank you so much for joining me here in the America's Tier 1. Wow, what a great race, and well, I'm very thankful to have you back. Thank you so much. And any last words from you before we wrap things up for the evening?
No, not necessarily. Just have a nice break while we're away. Stay tuned for, as we have Tier 2 tomorrow, obviously, and Tier 1 day after on Thursday. But you know, keen for Japan. Very keen for Japan. It's a great circuit, a classic one like Monza, and well, entertainment like that and action like that in America's Tier 1 is what I love commentating for. So keen for it.
Well, definitely keen for it, and Suzuka will be very, very exciting. And with that, everyone, have a great evening, and we will see you tomorrow for the Tier 2 racing action.